Good morning, boys and girls at Winter School. I just wanted to welcome you to Art on Friday. Woohoo! So today we're going to be talking about Jackson Pollock, the artist for today. So, who was Jackson Pollock? So here's some pictures of him. Here's when he was a little younger, and here's him a little bit older. And he was a abstract expressionist painting. Those are some big words. And we talked about abstract before. And that's when an art, some sort of painting doesn't look like something you see in real life. So it'll just be shapes or lines, while sometimes people will paint things that look like something in real life. So you could paint this plant just how it is in real life. But abstract paintings are usually not supposed to be a picture of something that you see in everyday life. While expressionism is art that expresses your thoughts, expresses how you feel. So his art would express his thoughts and feelings with pictures of things that you don't see in real life. They're not trying to describe something that you see. So it could just be lines, shapes, colors, things like that we've been talking about. So here's one of his famous paintings. This is called Reflection of the Big Dipper. So you can see on the right, there's his painting. It's big and there's colors everywhere, it's just splatters and lines and squiggles. And then on our left here, this is the Big Dipper. So this is a constellation, which means a bunch of stars that come together to make a shape. So this dipper is kind of like a scooper that you might use at the park to pick up sand. And so this picture is his painting of what that looks like, which is a little funny. This doesn't look exactly like it, right? Because it's abstract. So here we go is Autumn Rhythm, his next painting. So here we have less bright colors. We have some black, some white, some brown, and you can see that it's so messy. There's splatters everywhere. There are lines and squiggles. There's some straight lines, some wiggly lines, some curvy lines. And then here we have some thicker lines. So like he kind of smushed his brush a little bit more, kind of make these curly cues. And these, to me, look like people maybe dancing, moving their arms around. What do you think it looks like? And then next we have the blue poles. So you can see we have some blue lines that maybe look like poles. And again, we have these bright colors and these splattery shapes. And it just looks very exciting and busy and whoa, looks very crazy. So now we're going to talk about how he did this. How did he make these paintings look so wacky? And so what he would do, you can see in this picture, he's leaning over Mr. Pollock with his big can of paint and his long paintbrush, and he's making sure he stirs up his paint with his brush, and he's bringing it out and leaning to make sure he's over his canvas, and he's just splattering paint all over the place to make these different wiggly lines that we saw in all of his paintings. So you can see the first one, he's holding his can. The second one, he has his paintbrush out over his beautiful painting. And then in our last picture, this is when he's all done. He's looking at all of the colors that he made. You can see his canvas is covered in all of these colors. And here you can see all these cans. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know, so many cans of color. And those long paintbrushes that he uses to splatter it everywhere. So he's a very messy artist. So he made sure to be in a space where he could be messy when he did his art. So he has his paintings around him, and he is wearing a shirt that he doesn't mind getting paint on. He's being very safe when he's being messy. So we are going to do our own messy painting, and we're going to make our own Jackson Pollock splatter painting. So what you're going to need is so simple. You're going to need paper, paint, and yarn. So the first thing to do before we start is to set up your workstation. So that means making sure you have clothes on that you don't mind getting dirty, that you maybe cover your table with something that you don't mind getting dirty, maybe some newspaper, maybe a tablecloth, something that we don't mind getting messy. Then once you have all that set up, we're gonna lay the paper down and have your paint ready and your yarn, and then get to begin. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your first piece of yarn and pick the first color. So let's say like these friends in this picture, they have yellow and blue. So you take your first yarn and you say, I wanna use blue first. So you stick your yarn into the blue paint. You kind of stir it around a little bit, and then you pick it up and you hold on to one side of the yarn and you toss the other side down onto the paper. Just like that. I have these silly things. They're not yarn, but I'm going to demonstrate with this. So it's kind of like you imagine maybe you're trying to lasso a house. Lasso a cat. You're like, I'm going to get you. Trying to catch it. You're trying to touch the part of your string that has paint on it onto the paper to make all these silly lines, just like Picasso did, but in a slightly less messy way. So next, when you're done with this one color, you can leave that yarn in your first paint, take a clean piece of yarn and put it in your next color. So let's say you have yellow, like in the first picture. So you'll put it in the yellow and you'll do the same thing again. You go plop, 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 plop. And if you have more yarn or more paint around the house, you can pick another color, another piece of yarn, a clean piece, and just keep on going until you have this beautiful painting like some of my pictures here. This little friend, he has his paint on his paper making a cool little design, all splattery. And then when you're done, it could look something like this. So this one at the top here looks like the paint was a little bit more sticky and not as watery. And this one looks more watery. So you could add more water to it if you want it to look more like this painting at the bottom here. So if you're looking for other ideas as well, you could, for maybe some of our littler friends, we could use sponges. There's lots of other ways to get messy and have fun. So this friend over here is using sponges to get that splatter look onto the paper. And then over here, this is super fun. If you have a box from a delivery to your house, you can put your paper in the box and then dip marbles into different colors of paint and shake the box around so it will splatter your paper with the marbles. So that is a super fun way to also get that Pollock look. So there are some other ideas you guys can try if you'd like to do so. So basically that is all. Go ahead and share your awesome painting ideas, and I'm excited to see what you guys did, and I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We'll have our live Pollock painting session, and it'll be so much fun. So I will see you then, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye.